Yes, okay. All right. Bună Sara, welcome back to another episode of the Ode Chronicles, where we discuss our beloved Ode racing series and get to know the amazing people who make up our Ode family. I am Libby Reitman, your moderator, and I am very excited for tonight's guest. I have the pleasure of speaking for the first time with an Ode virtual family member, but as you can see, he is very much a real person. So we're joined tonight by Florin Simion, and he is joining us all the way from Romania. So thank you so much for coming on with me.
Hello, Libby. Hello, everybody. Hello, Ted. Hello, Sara. Hello, the Ode family. I'm really happy to be part of the Ode family and to be here tonight talking with Libby and talking to you.
Yes.
Through this, let's say, show.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, our little YouTube sensation here.
Nice. It sounds good. Yeah, I was waiting. I was waiting for a moment like this in order to meet Libby. I already met, not personally, unfortunately, but I hope I will meet personally Ted and Sara and you, Libby, and other runners. And maybe if not for the Ortula's event or one of the Ortula's series events, maybe for the big dogs next year. This is one of my targets already.
Perfect.
I wasn't very decided last year. You will learn why. You will hear me telling why we, let's say, didn't, let's say, made it. Even if me or the other guys from Romania would have qualified, of course, it would have been very difficult to come there as it was for so many other runners.
Yeah, with all the travel restrictions and everything. Yeah.
But I so much respect and appreciate all the guys who made it. One of them is Morten Klingenberg. I hope I didn't mess his name. And somehow, Morten is kind of responsible for me getting in touch with Sara. Of course, it's so simple to contact someone because, okay, you just search on the Facebook or somewhere and you add and you say, hello, I'm one guy from Romania. But I didn't do this, and I wanted to, let's say, contact Maggie before, but maybe somehow I just waited for things to happen. And Morten, who previously said that it was so complicated for him to made it for Tennessee with all the restrictions, but he made it, and he had a good run there, I think. And some months after this happening, from some months after big dogs last year, he put some post on backyard group and said, which is your favorite backyard quote? And one of my favorite, maybe the my favorite backyard quote is one of Sara's.
Yes.
Something that Sara said, something like that. I can remember. I hope I can do what I know I can do. Something like this. I don't really remember. And I heard it in the movie about Ortula's event last year. So you see already that things are kind of connected. And of course, I watched so intensely the event from Michigan last year, even from the first hours, and then until the last hours when Sara and Piotr were the last two. And and I like the movie. It was very nice. Even remember that fine gesture of Sara. I'm a fan of that gesture. She's doing something like this. I don't know, something like dancing. I said, God, she has, after 40, I don't know, 38 hours, she has the energy and even the guts to do
Right.
the energy to do things like that. Because after, if you ask me, after 24 hours, I'm only like that, like a dead man walking.
We have a term for that, and that we call that slap happy.
Oh, great.
When you're so tired and exhausted that you've gone beyond that, to now just kind of silly happy. So slap happy.
Oh,
I
very
think
nice.
Sara reaches that point a lot. So
Yeah,
we're so happy that we are reaching people from all over the world, and especially with that video that we did of last year's Ode to Laz event from the summer. I think that reached a lot of people, and we're really happy that it reached you, because you're not new to running. You're fairly new to backyard style, but you've competed in a lot of ultra distance events in the past. So I wanted to ask you, what was it about our Ode to Snow event that made you want to participate in that? Because it's definitely not our most well-known event, the one we just did in January. And that's where we really were introduced to you, or where we've heard about you. And so why Ode to Snow? Why did you run that with us virtually?
Yes, I can tell you more things about this. First of all, there was no snow in Romania.
Okay.
This year, not in Romania, in all the country. Of course, we have snow in the mountains and in other cities, even in the cities without the mountains. But here in the south of Romania, it's a little, let's say, warmer. And I'm kind of missed the snow. And when I saw some pictures and really understand that you from the Ode family, you will really run on the snow, and this is just a name. I said, okay, I want to feel this snow sensation by doing it. But of course, for me, the main reason to do something, if somebody invites me and let's say launches a challenge to me. So if you ask me, let's say, Simon, I have the pleasure to ask you, to invite you to do this, to run this event or to join us. For me, it's an honor. Of course, we are busy. We have a lot of personal projects. It's even the, let's say, the distance, and maybe some people are not so close to other guys if they are not in the same city, countries. I don't know. But for me, it was an honor, as I said, that Sara asked me. I even said, okay. She really asked me that. Oh, she's great that she really thought. To ask me this, and I was honored. Of course, I didn't. I'm not very proud of running only free. I mean, in whole, but yes. I'm proud of doing that in that night. But I would have liked to do more. But as you and other people, I'm working, let's say, night shifts, and it was an horrible month. A great month, January, but a horrible month in terms of, let's say, resting.
Oh, and, yeah.
And after midnight, I decided, and I did this. It was very cold, but it was very, very fun. And another reason, just to stay to talk about the reason, is that I needed some challenges. I needed something different, and of course, everything that is related to backyard for me is very important. I spend hours and hours on searching about results and events, and even last night when we last talked, and I went to sleep at 4 in the morning, something like this. I was doing something about backyard. When I'm very connected, I know it could sound like a obsession, but for me it's like athlete
Yeah,
working.
like a hobby.
No, it's more like a hobby. Of course, it's a hobby, but for me, it's too. It's not enough to call it a hobby, because everything I do related to running and sports is done by all my heart. So, I have the guts to say you cannot be upset of me if I do something wrong, because when you do something with your heart, it's hard to say you are wrong.
Right.
You are just doing your best. Okay, so it's an obsession, but maybe it's a positive one. It's not only a hobby, because I have some big objectives about the backyard ultra.
It sounds to me like it's a calling, like you're called to do it. It's very,
Yeah.
does that make sense? Okay, are we translating? You're called, it's just something in the universe that's calling you to do this, and it makes you happy, and
really happy, and really happy that I can do this, and really happy that something that happened, let's say, all this time brought me in this moment, because maybe it could be a calling, but you don't have the chance to reach a moment when you can do this. Even if the backyard ultra would have come to Romania, maybe I wouldn't have been prepared to do this. For instance, I wasn't prepared to start the 24-hour races when they started in Romania. They started 5 years ago, but I wasn't ready there, and I waited for two years to run a 24-hour race, and I just missed things. I missed the chance to be in the national team for the European Championship, which was held in Romania 4 years ago, and things like this. But I think that with backyard ultra is different, and I'm ready for anything, and I'm ready to dream, and not to be scared about what could happen, because I'm a normal guy who, even he is legitimate. I am not legitimate. This is in Romania. I'm an active athlete in a club. So I still am, because I'm being part of national championship, but I'm consider myself an amateur, but with clear targets now. And but if you let me, I can just go back few moments to tell about this Auto Snow.
Right. Absolutely.
Event. Because this is, of course, the environment, the virtual environment where we met. Of course, it was I was alone. But it was so fun, because even though I was tired, I was preparing a little sport inside my building.
Right.
This is a house with only few apartments, so inside the building, I put some food on a wardrobe somewhere, and I even took out my camping chair.
Yes.
I have a picture. I even used a Romanian flag, and so on. And and after the first round, I even felt even happier because it was really happening. I mean, I had a break. I was searching the phone, and so on. I was quite fast in the first one, 34 minutes, which have
Yeah.
never happened. In my backyard ultras. I had 3 events, 3 backyard ultras by now, but because of due to other many other reasons,
Mhm.
I was slow, and it was good because I wanted to be slow there. But here I try to be fast in these 3 loops, and I had a lot of time to do things in the break, and one of them was to charge my phone, which was losing the battery because of the call. I just wanted to have a proof. Usually I don't care. I don't start my phone, or I don't have don't even have a watch. I
Oh,
don't really.
but you
I only
wanted,
use.
did you want proof to show Sarah that you did it?
I don't really like making pictures, so I mean, I had to, let's say, to show. She asked me to show pictures or something, and
Yeah.
but for me, it was, of course, important to have this route of 6 kilometers because it will help me in the future. But I just went 3.3 kilometers
Okay.
ahead. But okay, making zigzags on the six, and then just turn back and be careful to have it. But it's okay because it's a very peaceful area. I'm living near the Bucharest city, the capital city, in a kind of village, even near a forest. I have a forest near my house. I'm
Okay.
lucky. So if I want to do things like this without being, let's say, hit by a car, I can just walking into the forest. It is very small, but it's fine. And
Is it safer at night for you to run as far as traffic goes?
yeah, it's safe. Yeah, it's safe here where I
Okay.
live. It's very safe. Not in the forest. I didn't try in the forest, but
Okay.
on the streets, or because there are some there is a secondary, let's say, road, not the main one from the village. It is near a river, and there are lights.
Okay.
That's okay. But I think I just choose I chose some streets. I only went um, to to some streets, not on the 2 roads I told you, but I had a lot of small and let's say calm streets with no problems.
Okay. Okay. So I know you wrote, how I found you was that you had written a blog or like an article that you had shared with us on our Ode to Last Facebook page about your experience overnight when you were running your 3 laps, and you gave us, I mean, it was like such a nice warm fuzzy feeling for you to talk about, Sara and how she influenced you, or how you spoke with her and found out about us. And so we want to thank you for sharing that with us.
It was my real
And
pleasure.
yeah, and so I know that you said you ran 3 laps around your house, and you mentioned in the article that you had struggled a bit. Were you struggling physically, or were you struggling mentally to finish that?
Uh, kind of both, but maybe a little more mentally than physically. I was
Okay.
very tired, and the call wasn't really helping me. But uh, uh, as I said, mentally it was a little more difficult than I was expected. Of course, the problem was that shall I do? It sounds so silly, for a backyard ultra. shall I do like 2 or 3? But you know, people can let's say understand that when I'm talking about 2 or 3 here in a simple run is like running like, let's say, 20 hours or 30 hours in a real
Right.
event. For me, it was something like this. I mean, as I struggle for another round in this event, in the same way, I will struggle for another 10 hours in a real event.
Okay.
And for me, it was a great challenge because I'm not really used to struggle myself, to struggle mentally by myself. I just run, I feel okay. But here happened something very special, and of course it was not a, a normal run because it's a backyard ultra style run.
Right.
So
So what is it? What do you think it is about the backyard style that makes it more challenging mentally? Because I know you're very interested in the mental aspect of training, and we'll talk
yeah.
about that in a minute. But if you had to, you know, describe what the difference is between the mental challenge of a regular ultra event versus a backyard event, what's the difference?
Maybe I'm not very original in that, but as many people said, is that fact that you don't know the distance you will run or how many hours you will run. So maybe you are terrified of what could happen. I'm not terrified. The problem, the difference is not that, oh God, it's so scared because I don't know how I will run. It's just the fact that you are not sure what will happen. This uncertainty, it's not good. For instance, let's say I wasn't sure we will meet this night. Okay, will we talk? Will not? We will not talk. Will I do something else? Will I wait? So this
Yeah.
feeling of not being sure of something can destroy us, and this is the challenge. You are starting from this feeling of not being sure, and you are starting from there, and then you are creating, you are putting a brick after brick in creating a wall, or let's say a fortress of confidence and mental power. And I really think that we should do that before a race. You can run how much you want, not too much to prepare a race, but you have to prepare mentally. And even a meeting like this, even talking to people, for me, it's preparations, because at least I can rely on not on what people said, because of what it works for you maybe is not working for me. But the fact that I talk to you is very important, because this happened. So I know that I had the chance to ask Libby or Sara or other runners. So this is what I understand that I had to inform in every aspect of your life. You have to do this, but I managed to use my power, my mental power, which I think I have. A lot of people in Romania say that I'm strong mentally. I can give you some examples, and this is the big difference, that you are using your mental power, but you have to know how to use it, and you have to wish to learn how to use it if you don't really know.
So one of the things that I discovered about you when I was stalking you on Facebook last night at 2 in the morning was that you have developed something called the Ultra Mind Coaching. And this is, at least to me, when I was looking at, seems very specific about that mental training. So what what got you first interested in in mental coaching instead of, because you are a seasoned runner. You say you're an amateur, but I know you're not. So
Okay, I
so
believe it.
you know how to run. You've competed in a lot of events. You've placed first in a fair amount of events and podiumed a lot. So
Yes.
why did
Okay.
you choose to mentally coach
Sorry.
versus
Sorry.
physically train people? Oh my God, yeah. Look at that.
You are
Yeah,
right.
you're not an amateur. So, you know, most people now that I've come across are looking for someone to train them physically how to run 50 miles, how to run 100 miles. But you're the first person I've come across who is mentally training people. So why did you choose to do this, you know, mind focus versus a physical focus?
Thank you very much for this issue, for this question. When I'm talking about the mind, I'm talking about the heart, about the spirit, I'm talking about the soul. Yes, so it's all together. It's on one hand we have the physical part, on the other hand we have the mind, the spirit, and the heart. And I call myself heart runner. I mean, I'm running with my heart. I mean, I'm running with my spirit. I'm running with my mind. Maybe this is the way I'm built as a human being. I believe in the verb to feel, connected, of course, to the mind. More than other verbs. Okay, but maybe this is the reason I didn't become gym teacher. I'm an English teacher, by the way.
Okay.
Okay, I believe that you can do more with your heart than only with your physical training. With your heart, I'm doing things with my heart and or only with my mind. Maybe I'm lazy. I'm not really lazy, but you know, now not everybody has the chance to just to be an athlete, and you reach a certain age, you have a situation, a good or a bad one, doesn't really matter, but maybe you don't really have the chance to train in some specific way. You could, but it will change everything. If you have a nice job or even two jobs like me, and in a project, and my project time trial running, I didn't want to find excuses, but I just found my way of doing things, and I discovered then when you're let's say focusing on the mental part, you can help your body, and you can help your body not to suffer. And even if you suffer, this pain, it's like not a pleasure, but it's like an instrument. It's like a normal way of being. For instance, for me, it's very important not to quit. I have like 175 marathons, including ultras. I never quit.
Wow.
I never stopped. I never stopped in my races. I have like 500 races in whole.
Wow.
In let's say 20 years of running, and I said to myself at the beginning, or at least before my first marathon, I will never stop. I will never abandon a race, and this helped me because I promised myself I won't do this. Of course, I can get injured, but if you have a goal you have to do a lot of things to reach your goal. When I feel sick, when I feel bad, I say to myself, oh, okay, it's a bad moment, but it doesn't have to be the end. You can pass over it. And most of the times it happens. I was surprised that 1 or 2 times it didn't happen. I couldn't imagine what's happening. Okay, it's good. That is happening, even this thing. But usually we have the power to pass over the bad moment, over the wall, and it happens in half marathons, in marathons, which was my focus. The marathon was my focus for a lot of years, and then I moved to ultra, and I said, okay, it's so easier to run an ultra marathon than running a marathon, which is faster, which you have to train a lot for it. Oh God! So ultra is fine. I wasn't very pleased with my results in terms of time or something, but I had even some results in ultra. But for me, mental power is very important, because I never know how to train physically very well. Maybe I didn't want, but I didn't really. If you ask me now to show you some exercises, I will show you some exercises, but maybe you say you are wrong. So I ask other people to help me in my events with this, let's say, warming and gymnastic session. And yes, for this concept, I tried to study a little. I made an online course for a few months, and then I went to 3 days sports psychology in sports, 3 days course here in Romania with some psychologists and even some real athletes. I even met a great Romanian gymnast who just retired after this last year Olympics, and I was happy to. Yeah, it was cool to meet not only some people like me, but great athletes. And I read some books. I read a lot of articles and talked to a lot of people. I asked some opinions. Even related to ultra, for instance, maybe I'm sure you have to know the Romanian, now American ultra runner Andrei Nana. He's the let's say the captain of the Learner team, as he calls himself, and I'm happy that he is that. The captain of the team, and I talked to some people during the time, during the years, and now I got to this moment. But you are the first community to hear about this. Of course, after you will share this on the Orthodox community, I will share it in my community, because I think I'm prepared to start this. I don't have to find excuses that I have no time and so on, but I think I'm waiting something, and I can share you right now.
Yes.
That I'm waiting to win a backyard ultra. I'm waiting to become last man standing to do this. And Sara told me, don't wait, just do it. Just do it.
I definitely can tell just by the enthusiasm that you talk about this, that you shouldn't wait. You should just do it, because I think you have a very good presence and the right mind for coaching people, and being a teacher, it probably is going to come very natural to you.
Oh yeah.
So but I definitely think that becoming a last man standing won't hurt. but like you said, that it's not everything to win. It's really, testing yourself too. So I definitely think that mental coaching is really important and something that a lot of ultra runners overlook. You know, they don't really think about that when they sign up for their first race. And then they wonder what went wrong or have regret afterwards, you know, that no, I should have kept going, or you know, and you you rest a little while and you feel better. So, and sometimes you don't, but sometimes you do. And so it's really interesting how your mental state and mental strength can get you through those hard parts physically. So if you had to give one piece of advice that you've learned in your research about mental training, if you had to give me one piece of advice to make me a better backyard runner, what would it be? Can you pinpoint it to like one big thing?
Yeah, maybe not only one big thing, and it is not often said. Just try to remember all the running you did, as you mentioned before. I'm not a new runner.
Right.
Just try to get all your experience, and you'll be so amazed how much it can help you, because it's not all about recent training. It's about what your mind and your body is used to do, and you can use, of course, the experience, but you can use all the pain, everything you learn in order to run one more lap, as you at a certain point ran one marathon, and then another marathon and another race, another ultra, and you said, yeah, I won't try this ultra again. But of course, you register in a few weeks. You register again in a few weeks. It really happened to me in some crazy difficult races, and of course I registered again. And this would be a kind of advice. Of course, more will come to my mind and I will share it, but this is really what I want people to know.
What do you think it is about people like us, like you and I, and the rest of the ultra running community? What is it about us mentally or the way we're wired that makes us go through these really challenging events? And like you said, where you say, oh gosh, that was so hard, I don't want to do that again, it was painful. But then 2 weeks later, we're looking up, okay, where can I go that I can do this again? What is it about us? Because not everybody is wired like this. Are we a little crazy?
It's a little craziness, but it's a kind of craziness that it's not coming only from your mind. Maybe your heart, your spirit is are crazy, but when you are talking about your heart, you cannot say bad things. So it's it's something, especially something very different from the other people who, let's say, just drink beer or something else. Maybe you go back because you have some unfinished business, and a lot of runners said, okay, I will try the same race again, only if I have an unfinished business. And people are like going again and again in very difficult races, because in fact, even they have suffered, they felt well. So I have races like this. I have a few races which I ran 10 times out of 10. So round numbers are very special for me, like 10, like 100. And maybe you need some rest, some break, but you will do this again. Of course, it's about atmosphere. It's about feeling included in that group, which you know so well. And it's a lot. It's about fun, and I know that in Ode Family, it's so fun running an event. A big event like Ode or even a smaller one like Ode to Snow. And this is what I'm trying to to achieve, sorry, to achieve the fun thing of the fun atmosphere, because as I already told even to Sara, I am having fun like talking to you. I'm having fun doing free free loops backyard style after midnight. I'm having fun having some marathon and having a race, having fun, not even having some music and cheers. I'm only having fun just being there.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I can do what I like, and if I will be a little hurt, not so much, it will be because it was not my desire, it was my choice to let this happen, not somebody else coming and to hurt me, and I don't know, just neglecting the nature or the city or something, and something will happen. No, I don't really. I have no problem when I have, let's say, some injuries from the running, which I don't really have in 20 years of running. I only have some small things, and even then I try to run smaller, sorry, slower.
Yeah.
But I continue to run, thinking somehow that running will still help me to pass over the problem, even if running itself got me in that situation.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've got some big old knots in my right calf right now that I'm trying to run through. So it is a fine line between making the problem worse and fixing the problem by using the same thing.
Yes, yeah. I really believe that using your belief, concentration, and your heart will help you. On the other hand, if you are having a headache and you are repeating, you keep repeating, I have an headache, but you contact no doctor, no I don't know, hospital, of course the problem won't really solve. But if you, okay, let's say you don't have to take no medicine, but if you relax, you say, okay, I'll be all right, I have to be all right. I have to be right because I have a race next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it helps. It's not craziness because you are focused. And how in the world you can be blamed by, let's say, just wishing to be good, when you are thinking, you are working in your style, with your mind. You are not ignoring it. You are just working. And this is a very nice quote heard from an American singer. He's not a VIP, but she's called. Her name is Nightbird. I know the musical name. Let's say.
Okay.
She was part of the America's Got Talent, I suppose. She has cancer. I'm not sure if she managed to totally pass over it. She said, "You don't have to be happy. You don't have to feel good in order to be happy." I mean, she was living her dream to become a singer despite her big disease. And it was very, very, very inspiring for me. This is happening in an ultra. You don't have to feel perfect to finish a race or win a race or I don't know, do as much loops as you want. Because a friend of runner, which helped me with this project, I asked two persons to help me test my abilities as a coach, and he's called David. He said at a certain point, when I have a big problem, I usually stop. I don't really think how to pass over it. It's good, it's bad, I don't know. But and this guy, believe me, he really did some great things like Tour de gens or ultra marathon or things like this. So he's a really tough guy. But some persons are like Kenyans. I mean, David is more like Kenyans. He knows how to suffer, but Kenyans do like that. They try everything. If they manage to win, they win. If they let's say they die on the race. I mean, not really dying. If they have to pull out of the race, they will pull out, but they have to pull everything in
Yes.
to use all their power. There is no no 80%, 90% energy to use. It's 100% everything. You have to give everything there, even if
Yes.
it will end bad. So,
Yeah.
but I believe that, as I said before, that we can be like, I don't know, it can be like cats having 9 lives, but we can be born again in a race. And I know Sara mentioned something wonderful from last year. She was kind of destroyed, and let's say she was down mentally, but her team waited her at the stairs. You know
Yeah.
the stairs, I suppose. I don't know the stairs, but
Oh yeah. Yeah.
okay.
We all know, we know the stairs.
Of course. And then somehow she managed to change everything in her mind, and she made her fastest loop.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was very, very, maybe it was crazy for everybody, but it was
Yeah.
very inspiring.
I think that spot you're referring to is the loop before she had come in with barely enough time and to rest. She came in really close to the cutoff and then went back out again
Yes,
and then ended up doing one of her fastest
yes,
laps.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Which, yeah, really threw everybody really off. But it was a big surprise. But yeah, that's definitely a good example of mental power and how
Yes,
she got that boost from her crew.
yes, but I think, sorry to interrupt, but I think this is the difference of uh, only having your mental power inside you, compared with having a lot of mental power together with having support,
Yeah,
because this is where you stop when you have, let's say, motivation, but when let's say you don't have a lot of support. I mean, maybe you have the support, but some people are not built to use that support because they are just, let's say, not happy. They're okay with what they've done, and I can tell you a lot of things related to this. The moment you choose, you are choosing to stop or not, which happened in my first backyard ultra. It is again a crazy story, if you ask me.
Well, tell me about it. I think I can relate at least a little bit. When I signed up for my first ultra event, I had never run a marathon. So the longest I had ever done was a 10K. And I decided that there's a race here in Michigan that happens every year at a park near me. And I love the trail. And I run it for fun before, just, go out on my own and run the trail. And I had heard about this run. It was the first time I heard about long distance. So they were doing a 50K. And I thought, oh my gosh, who in the world signs up for that? That sounds horrible. And for some reason I got it in my head that was like the peak of all things cool, that someone could do that on this trail. And so I signed up for it, having never even run the marathon. And I got to the marathon distance, and I said I was so tired. I didn't train right. And I said, that's good enough. And I stopped. Because I was happy even to have gotten to a marathon, which I had never gotten to. And now it's definitely one of those events that I have unfinished business with. I need to go back and do the 50K, right? So,
yeah.
I totally understand when you say, people, you're not necessarily happy with your performance, but you're satisfied. Yeah, That was pretty
Yes,
good.
something happened there. You met some let's say something in your mind somewhere in your personal world during that
Yep.
race. Something happened there, and maybe is like saying, okay, I've done this job today. What can I do? What else? Okay, I can go to sleep.
Right.
Yeah. It was very strange for me to meet this feeling when I was satisfied with my running, and then I just stopped. Even if few rounds before I felt so great, I ran so fast, but when I decided this is quite enough, the body damaged so fast that so everything started to hurt. But when you are not motivated to go on, you are not ready, and you are not interested in let's say solving the problems, your pains, your hydration, your sleep deprivation, things like this. So you are not interested in doing so many things that could those many things that could help you, and the things that you did before, because before of saying, okay, it's enough, I was very careful regarding my pains, my I don't know, my stomach, but at that point I really didn't care
Yeah.
about anything.
I've talked about this with other people I've interviewed with. It keeps coming up, this specific aspect of, and we've talked about it in regards to setting goals, but it definitely happens even when you don't have a specific goal in mind, that the minute you decide that you're satisfied with that's enough. Like for me, for that trail race, I couldn't have run farther even if I had wanted to. I couldn't have changed my mind because my legs stopped working.
Yes, your legs. Yes, your legs.
And I didn't feel like my legs weren't working until I said, that's good enough. And then I could barely walk, So
Yeah,
it's
great.
amazing how you make that decision, or that thought comes to your mind and it affects you physically.
No, it's like you are awakening somehow. You are maybe not awakening in the in the good day, in the good world. You are awakening maybe in the not so good, or let's say, maybe you are awakening, but not in the world you wanted.
Right.
And I can explain. For instance, in my first Backyard Ultra, the Romanian Backyard Ultra in May last year, I said to my brother before, which I was very impressed that my brother, who is a priest, he was very interested in this, and he said, okay, I will come there. It's like 2 hours drive.
Okay.
He had a lot of work that weekend as a priest, but he managed to come, and he reached this running place, the competition place, exactly in the moment when I finished the 30th hour. When I had 30 hours done, at the finish, he was there. And I said to myself before, I will wait him, I will run until he will come. And then, okay, he's here, it's fine. And after an hour, he left. It was already the 32nd hour. He left. I was a little bit disappointed because he left. And I was already starting with 20. Okay, the second reason that maybe stop was that I was an assist. I was already on assist, starting with a 27-hour. It was so great for me. I wished this. I was not one of the favorite. A lot of big runners, great runners stopped before, and fast runners. Nobody expected me to reach there. They expected for the winner to be there. He was maybe not the most popular guy until then. Now he's very popular, but his name is Andrea Ailene. He's a very great guy, and but I didn't know. I had no idea who is he.
Okay.
Other runners knew him already anyway, and for me was like, okay, I did this. I really did. I'm there. I'm the assist, because I was really impressed in being an assist by other runners. And a guy who, a great runner who inspired me before and who helped me with some advice. He's from Sweden, a friend of mine. His name is Stan Oswan. I hope I pronounced his name okay. He recently in October done like 41 hours or 42 hours,
Wow.
something like that. He was 3 times assist already.
Okay.
So he never win, but he told me don't put certain targets because they won't help you. Just think and just desire to do one more loop and one more loop and one more loop, and I can do this.
Yeah.
I know I can do this, but you know, something happened in my Becker Ultras last year. Something happened that I couldn't just determine myself to try one more loop. I was, let's say, pleased with what happened.
Oh. Uh-oh, what happened? We lost him. Ah! Let's see if I can get him back on, because we are still recording, so that wasn't it. Sorry, guys. Don't you just love technology? All right, we will get him back on, because this is just too good to stop. Hang in there with me. Maybe it was his internet connection. Hopefully we can get him back on. What an interesting guy. I'm loving this conversation, and I love talking about the mental aspect of backyard running, because it is something you don't think about when you first sign up for these events, and it's something you learn very quickly that is important. And the people who do go far, yeah, they've got the physical training and the physical ability, but they've got something special about them. Like he said, not just their mind, but their heart too is fully in it. So it's just awesome. I love hearing about this. I will share with you, so Florin's mental training that he offers called Ultramind Coaching. You can find that on www.Florin Simion, his name spelled FLORINSIMION.com. And he also has a Facebook page called Ultramind Coaching by Florin Simion. So, you know, if you guys are interested in learning more with him. Oh, here he comes. Yay. Let's see.
Hello.
You're back.
I'm back. Sorry for this.
I don't know how I lost you, but I thought for a minute that Zoom cut us off. but but it didn't. So I'm so glad that you're back. I was just sharing, in the meantime, I was sharing your contact information with your Facebook page for the Ultramind coaching, and then your website with everyone. So if anyone was interested in reaching out to you to have you professionally coach them, they have that information now. So
thank you
yeah.
so much for this. And
Yeah.
before continuing with that story about the Romanian backyard,
Yes, yeah. So I wanted to ask, oh, are you still there? We may have an internet connection issue.
This is exactly what I was waiting for, to meet a group, to meet some people or a group of people who I can talk to, and or even start to interact and work with, because back here in Romania there are not so many ultra runners. This world is still small in Romania.
Okay.
Most of them are friends of mine. Of course, I'm ready to work and to help everybody. They already know me, and when you know a person, maybe you don't feel you can connect in the way you want in order to be helped. And of course, I'm ready to work with anybody. And my main, let's say, weapon, what recommend me is my enthusiasm in ultra running. But of course, I'm very keen and very I'm basing my coaching, let's say, idea on my experience. And now let's try to go little by little to the backyard ultra story. I can tell you that everything that happened in my life as a runner just helped me to become a backyard ultra runner. But everything that happened was like as I said, like a brick put in a wall, and finally I could reach a fortress with this project, let's say, which makes me confident to try to help others. So maybe some people are looking to a CV or to some big, let's say, achievements. I ran a lot of races. I won a lot of races. But what really helped me, there are some stories, not so many, but enough stories, which really which really shows that you can use your mental power and your confidence to finish a race and even win a race. And I will share some stories. And then Romanian will find a way to be translated. I will look for 3 or 2 very, very suggestive stories, and you will get my idea when you will read them. And now, getting back to Backyard Ultra, I told about this limit of hours when my brother came. I thank him that he was a little late. 30 hours were a lot for me, and I stopped at 53 hours because it was kind of enough for me. And the second time when I stopped was for physical problems. It was a problem in my leg. I just had no solution. It was so painful, so I had to stop. 27 hours, the third place. And the third time I went in Moldova, which is our let's say like our brothers. The Moldavians used to be part of Romania. many years ago. They are our brothers, and I stopped at after the 23rd hour.
Okay.
I didn't even try to reach 24, which would have been a great number, which would have included me in this season list, because after the I started with August, the new season of Becchiarura started, and you are mentioned there only if you have 24 hours, but it's no big deal. You know.
So why did you stop?
I stopped because the start there, I did a lot of mistakes there, like eating what I shouldn't eat, and having a lot of support and so on. I was losing my water every time. I was just, losing my water bottle, and I was like thirsty, and I was like a machine. For 23 hours, I was like in another world. Even night, in the night, it was even better. The race started on 23rd of October, which was my son's birthday. Son's birthday. He was agreed, my family, he was agreed that I will go there and run. And I said, okay, 23 hours are for the date, the birthday of my son, the day he was born. And when I was approaching the 23-hour finish, I said, okay, this is it. I was like feeling dizzy. It was the dawns. It was the moment when the day came. And I said, okay, I'm awake. What happened? What did I have done? Why do I struggle? It was a very, very difficult loop, big, very steep and very, very difficult. I hadn't a desire to struggle anymore, because this was my motivation, 23rd hour. It wasn't from the beginning. It was something that appeared during the race.
Okay.
And of course, I was sorry for doing this. I said, okay, at least 24, but I was happy that at least the winner made 24 hours.
Okay.
Maybe he wasn't the friendliest runner ever. He was looking like this to me because he was already tired. I know he's a very good runner, as I noticed. And I stopped. I was sorry. I will go there, maybe not this year, because the event from Moldova will be only 1 week after the World Championship satellite event.
Okay, yeah, don't do that. That's a lot of running if you went from 1 week later to go do that.
Yeah, but I won't be able to run too much if I will go there. But okay, maybe 2 weeks would be enough. 1 week, not really. Okay, and now with all I've learned from those 3 races, and all I learned from people like people from your community and other runners, now I think I can really use the step by step, hour by hour, let's say, strategy. You need some, maybe you need some targets. I will be careful not to set like 100 hours because target, because you need a guide to help you go there. But I think I have some targets. Of course, winning is not everything, but I don't even mention winning, or maybe not so often. I'm more mentioning this idea of last man standing, or and I will explain some things to you. That's why Becchiar Ultra could be a calling for me. And as I said, I have some target objectives. I will tell about them soon. But as I can remember, 20 years ago, let's say after the high school, or even high school, or during the college, I was lying in the bed and I was dreaming to run a very short loop in the front of my house, my block where I was living. I said, okay, I think I will, I said to myself, I will find 2 guys that three guys who can help with me, and I will try to be the last man standing to run as much as I can. No matter how I think I can be the last one standing in that run. I had no idea.
Really?
Yeah, I was thinking to that. 20 years ago, not even less was thinking to this.
Right.
I'm sure.
Right.
Nobody. Not even ultra marathon was known in Romania 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was dreaming of that, and this is not a reason. This is one of the bricks for my backyard ultra fortress. Another one is that I'm not a faster runner, of course. I cannot run all the time. I have to stop a lot during a 12-hour race or 24-hour race. I stop a lot. If you look to one of my 24-hour race, you will see how many stops I have. I stop for eating, for changing my shoes, for drinking, for all kind, for using some gel for my pains, for having some vitamins, so on. Okay, and it helps me. I have longer breaks, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then I will be a little faster if I am able to do this.
Right.
And sometimes I even perform better in the end after a few hours of agony or something, or a few hours of sleeping. It happened. So I'm used to come back, even in an ultra. I know how to use my brakes, and I can recover very well after breaks. And I said, that's it. That's it. I can use all things. I can run over and over. Only if I have some breaks. I just cannot
Right.
go on forever without stopping. Some other guys can. I just can do this because I know there are a lot of things that comes to me, a lot of pains. Maybe these problems comes, of course, from a lack of physical preparation. Maybe, I'm not sure, but even if you are very prepared physically, you have to stop if you have a pain, or if you are if you didn't drink enough, so on. Just stop because you are not you have not enough power.
You got a little one in the background.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay.
Just a second.
Yeah. No, that's a good dad.
Just a second. I'll be back soon.
Hi.
I'll be back in a moment.
Okay. So that's what when Florin takes time out to talk to us, we really appreciate it, and because we know he's got a lot going on with his family, and it's kind of getting close probably to those little ones' bedtime, because it's the evening there. So it's really interesting to hear his experience with that first ultra he ran, and we've talked about a lot about what it means to have your crew with you, and what it means to have just even spectators supporting you and cheering you on. And I purposely put this in the background today because this was at our Ode to Snow event this year, and it really does speak volumes to what can lift you up when you're struggling. So our Ode Inspirations was this little basket. Hey, welcome back again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I was just filling some time explaining my background and what, your story of your brother being there at your event, and then after he left, how you felt afterwards. It really is amazing what other people's enthusiasm and support can do for you when you're tired and when you're struggling. And we had this little basket of Ode-spirations, which was these little things written on a card that was supposed to inspire you and encourage you to keep going when you got tired. And I think the one I picked up said, everyone loves you and is cheering for you or something. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll go run another lap. I don't want to disappoint anybody.
Great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you feel like when your brother left that event, do you feel like that was kind of contributing to you stopping the way?
Not so much. I didn't even thought too much about this. Only now, as we talked, I remember this, that it affected me. I would have liked him to stay in order to talk to him, to talk to his son, my nephew. And I was unhappy because I hadn't the chance to spend some time with them. But no, it wasn't really affected me. I was more or less influenced about the fact that I was already sharing my myself. How could I say? I shared this fact that I was happy with this performance with other runner, and maybe in my mind I was expecting him to do the same time. It was not fair for me to wish somebody stop because of me, or just to share my thought. But anyway. The real reason I was so I wasn't really prepared to continue is that I couldn't sleep. I was so dizzy. I slept only few hours before the race. I slept few hours the last week because I had to work a lot. Sometimes sleeping only few hours during during the night before the race is not so bad, but all of those things contributed to me not having the power to run anymore. Maybe the fact that I tried to sleep but I couldn't sleep, this affected me more than sleep deprivation itself,
Yes, yeah, I know what you mean.
You got the idea? Yeah, it's like promising to yourself or to somebody else, okay, I will join your party, but you forget, or you find something to do, and then you say, oh God, this I really had to do this. Why didn't okay, maybe it wasn't my fault, but I should have done this, and okay, then I will give up with all. And so
I I work night shift, and so the first night on that I work, if I try to sleep that day during the day, if I force myself, it's almost worse than if I just naturally stay awake and then go into the night shift a little bit tired. You know what I mean? It's worse if I try to force it and I'm not ready to fall asleep.
Okay, I understand. Now I understand. Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course, forcing won't help.
I think it's mental. I don't think it's a physical thing. I think it's a mental thing where you're like, oh, I really needed to sleep and I couldn't, and now I'm stressed out. And
I understand, and you are right. And we even to Sara, I talked these days about this sleeping problem. Okay, the problem is not that you tried. You lay down and try to sleep and you couldn't just fall asleep. No, the problem was that I am just wasn't able to find the time and the situation to sleep because I was was so late in. I mean, not so late in every round. I was like 43, 40, oh, sorry, 51, 52 minutes. It was okay, but I had so many things to solve and to cover, and I couldn't find the time to try to sleep because sometimes, you know, that in the second race I tried for 5 minutes, maybe not real sleep, but it was fine. It helped me. So it's okay. So I didn't force myself. I just couldn't fell asleep, but it was fine just laying down. The problem was that it was like an organizing problem for me.
Okay.
That's the thing that affected me mostly.
Okay.
But maybe things like that happen with a reason. Maybe if becoming less standing for the from the first race, it couldn't have been a good teacher, as they say. Winning is not a good teacher.
Right.
You win better from failing. Is not, of course, failing being an assist. I was happy.
Not at all. Yeah.
I won't mind being an assist for more times. I will be happy, let's say, with being an assist. If I'm doing a personal best, it will be so great for me.
Yes. Yeah.
And I will try this. I'm not searching for the winning on my next race. My next race will be in Spain. Of course, you didn't ask me, but I can tell you.
No, I was going to ask. That was going to be one of my questions. What do you have coming up?
Yes, so I have 4 or 3 backyard ultras set this year already. Even today, there is a race in Oslo, Norway. I wanted to go there, but the things weren't sure. The restriction were so severe. But the organizer, which is a good runner, I'm trying to remember the name, but I don't want to be wrong because it's it's a Scandinavian name. But, okay, and he's a great guy, and they are running right now on ice.
Oh my!
I mean, not.
You know what? I think I saw a picture of that.
Yes, yeah.
It's literally like all ice.
Yeah, but he just mentioned before the race that things got better and the trail looked okay. The runners seem to be fine. I wanted to be there because for me now, as I said, being trained, and not only for me, being trained is not enough. You have to be prepared mentally and spiritually, and I think I'm prepared now. I'm preparing starting in November or so. So I think I need like at least 1 hour and 1 month and a half to prepare for a race. Even I have other races. If I have only 3 weeks, not enough. But if I have at least 1 month, 1 month and a half, it's enough. So I'm preparing with start with the, let's say, with the beginning of December. So it's 2 months, let's say half December. Now it's almost half of February. So it's enough time, I think. And I wanted to be in Oslo maybe next year. And my next race will be in Spain. I found a nice race in a small city called La Para in the east south. It's not far from Seville. Sevilla, Extremadura. It's another city in that area. And I even found a very close friend of mine from Romania. He's working there, not in Spain, in Gibraltar, which is not so. And I was ready, to go there without support. And but then I found about them and said, okay, we will come. They have no car, but they will come. It will be great because I really want to meet again this friend of mine, and I know he's a very, very nice gentle, and even the organizer, he's great. Please help me. Okay, it's not like they are great guys. They will do everything for me. No, I want to suffer them for there. I will need their help, but the fact that I am in contact with them, they say, you can rely on us, we'll be there. That's enough for me, not only to be relaxed, just only to be, let's say, mentally set,
Yes.
It's like again, one of that bricks that I keep mentioning about. So it's something that I needed, a kind of motivation. And it's even better for me to have an information like this, like that guy saying, okay, we'll be there. Then having a special target. I have some targets, but they're only like extra, just to know where I am. But of course, it will be, let's say, 10th place, second place, doesn't really matter. I wanted to go for personal best. We shall see what will happen.
So what are your targets for your next couple years, or even just this year in running? Because I think I when I was looking at your Facebook page, I think I saw some of them, but I wanted you to tell me about it. So what do you want to achieve? What's your top?
Yes. Okay. So okay, first of all, at a certain time, at a certain point, of course, I would I want to become less man standing, for my soul especially. I'll make the difference, as I said before. I want more to be less man standing than to win, of course. But it could be the same thing. But for me, it's very important to show me that not that I'm the best. No, you're not the best if you're the last one. But to show that I be the one who suffered the most. Yes, I want to suffer more than everybody else.
Okay.
You cannot shoot me for this. Okay.
Well, like we say around here, finishing last means the most.
The most, exactly. Yeah, it's the most important desire of me to be the last somehow, because the origin of this desire is coming from 20 years ago, as I mentioned. And yes, mainly this is my main goal. But after this, some will say, oh, what comes after this? Okay, maybe some numbers are very important. I will like to reach like 40 hours, 45 hours, 48 hours. I made a calculation in my mind, and I said, you are really going over your limits if you are going over 45 hours. I don't know, don't ask me how did I manage this, but for instance, the nice guy from Germany, Alex Hall, he set a target of 45 hours for the Champions race. I haven't asked him, I will ask him, but maybe there is something with that 45 hours limit. And in my mind, this is the same limit. If you want to, let's say, to prove that you are really good, or to prove that you are really challenging your body over a normal limit. Usually in 48 hours, you basically should sleep. Some people are not sleeping during the 48 hours race, but if you ask me, you should sleep a little. And okay, so these are my numbers somehow for the beginning. Okay, and yes, in terms of races, very important target and the most important this year will be the World Championship, the satellite version. Every country in their country, every team in their country, and somehow I think I will be there in the team somehow. I mean, not somehow. I mean, basically the first two from last years are automatically qualified. The first two guys from the Romanian Backyard Ultra, which was the national championship, are already qualified. But of course, I want to prove I'm there, and I think I already proved somehow with the other two races. Even if I made less than the first one, I was there. And I want to confirm this let's say position of mine. I want to go to I don't know, the European Championship, which was already announced. It will be in Sweden next year in June.
Okay.
And even I was a little scared last year. Now I'm really decided to try to qualify for big dogs.
Okay. That was going to be my next question is, do you want to go to Bigs?
Yes. After watching what happened last year, I really want. I like the idea that they are running also on asphalt during the night. Maybe it could be boring, but there is let's say this changing of running surface could be good, but of course this is maybe the last motivation. There are any other more other motivations. Maybe the most important in this moment for me is that Sara and even Ted mentioned, okay, if you want to come to USA, you are our guest. We will help you here with what we can for the bigs. But of course, before bigs, I hope I can join one of your races. Is so complicated for me, but I still think about this, and I don't know how. I have a lot of races this month already, but somehow the month of July is surprisingly empty in this moment.
Well,
I say, okay,
that would be perfect timing then.
Yeah, it's say, okay, this is a sign. Maybe I really have to do something about this to make this happen. Of course, it's very complicated. It would be maybe okay because it will be a vacation for students, so I won't have to be at school.
Okay.
At that time, it will be very complicated to, let's say, miss 1 week of your work. Okay, for the other job, it will be a normal thing. I will have some normal vacation leave, but for school is something else. I don't know. There are low chances, but as I saw, there are a lot of races. I think Autoles is the last one from the series. And other months, June, May already occupied for me, but I will still think about this. I didn't say already, oh, I won't go. I will think about.
Well, we're happy for you to at least consider it. So
yes.
And like you said, we have Otalaz, the July run is kind of the big daddy of all of our events. But Tad keeps coming up with more and more things and adding on events. So you'll have a fair amount of opportunity of different things to sign up for where you can meet everybody. He had most things happen over the spring and summer here, because that's just probably the best time to run here in Michigan. But yeah, so just if you can't make it this year, look at our events for next year too, and there may be more opportunities, next year with some of the new stuff he's adding.
Yes, of course. Yeah. And if it won't be this year, I think it will be next year. And even if it will mean that I will come, I have to come 2 times in USA next year. I think once I will be there for the first time, then for the second time will be easier. I mean, not easier, but I will be more, let's say, prepared to try at least. Of course, I heard that Otula's loop is not so simple.
It's deceivingly challenging. The first couple laps that you do, you're, that's not so bad. But it is. We do have a fair amount of elevation change. I don't know what it's like in Romania, because I know your country can be quite mountainous.
Yeah.
So we don't have mountains, but there's a lot of this. And then the stairs is what really scares people. Every time I ask people, what is the thing that you fear the most about our course? Everyone says the stairs.
Oh,
So they're not particularly long, but it's just enough to sap your energy,
oh,
especially as you get later into the run. So it's a fun course. I find it fun. It's interesting. It's not boring at all. It keeps your mind occupied, and you
yes,
focusing on the ground and your foot placement and stuff like that,
that's
which,
great.
yeah. So now I wanted to ask you some questions that Tad had sent to me, because he's really the brains behind all of these interviews. I wouldn't be able to get to do this without him coming up with the idea in the first place a couple years ago. So, he always sends me some things that he wants me to ask. And so he had
Great.
he had a couple of questions for you that he didn't want me
Sure.
to miss.
Okay, I'm
So,
honored that he had the time to create some questions for me. I mean,
yeah.
I noticed how much he's working for these events. When I talk to him, he's always doing something. Even today, he was um, making a post about an event of mine. I hope we have time to talk about
Oh, yeah.
my event just a little, because of course we are approaching already 2 hours of
Yes, I know. Gosh, time flies. Thank God. I just, before we started our interview, I told myself I cannot let Zoom cut me off again, because the free version of Zoom cuts you off at 40 minutes. And I was like, this is not going to happen again. So I paid for the Zoom that lets you talk unlimited. And
Okay, next time
it's been worth
great.
every minute, or it's been
Yeah,
totally worth it. So
I will pay next time for
no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So Tad wants to know that, if do you know much about the history of trail running in Romania? Has it been something that has existed for a long time versus, road marathons? Or is it something fairly new to your country?
Compared to other countries, compared to USA, we have a short history. We can
Okay.
call it something new. I know I studied, but in my own way, just like a normal person, not like, let's say, history teacher or something like this, or like a journalist. In 2006 or 2005, it doesn't really matter, like 16 years ago, 17 years ago, there was the first race in the Romanian mountains, the first trail mountain run. I heard about this at that moment. I was going on mountains, but I wasn't very decided. Although one of my friends, the mountain guys, which I was doing hikes, he went there. So it was the first race of 17 years ago. It is a very difficult, it's a marathon. It is a very difficult race. So it was the beginning, and not only as a race, but as a community.
Okay.
That race, that organizer managed to create such a nice community around this event that I was really impressed. And it was very big at a certain point. Of course, again, in the let's say normal running, I mean in the flat running, the classic marathons, it was another community which I enjoyed very much. Around it was around a club called Roclu Marathon, Roc coming from Romania, Roclu Marathon.
Okay.
A big community. But now as a lot of races was appearing year by year. Those big community, the mountain community and the flat marathons community, let's say, they were broke in a lot of small communities, running groups, or let's say communities made around a certain event. There are so many bands, they call them bands, like gangs.
Right.
Somehow. But this is what I'm trying to do with my community, to be wide, not to be not so limited. But coming back to the history, only 10 years ago, something happened, and from 2 or 3 marathons in the whole country, let's say 5 marathons, mountain and road marathons, so, from 5 marathons a year, 10 years, 11 years ago, suddenly 10 or 15 other marathons appeared, and then to the year of 2011, that year, it's a milestone for me, if you ask me. A lot of new races just came out. So some communities were created at that moment. Few communities were created around that year. So trail running is, let's say, 17 years old, and it is very popular, starting with 2011. Something like this. If you
so yeah, I would probably say that's fairly recent then. Yeah. Compared to some other places.
Yes. Things move very fast. We even managed to have a guy on the 2nd place in the UTMB a few years ago, Robert Heinal. The guy running in normal pants somehow.
He wasn't wearing blue jeans, was he?
No.
Okay.
But then, no, but there were some like hiking pants, very useful.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yeah, but he's a very great guy, and he worked so a lot to become a great ultra runner. And we have some good runners in the European Championship, in the World Championship. Also, they had good position. Like girl from Romania managed to win. It was new for everybody. She managed to win the last World Championship in the trail running in 2019, something like this, because last year and 2 years ago, this championship wasn't held because of the pandemic situation, of course. And you have some good runners.
Do you think that, the landscape or the terrain in Romania, being a lot of it being very mountainous, do you think that holds, is that a reason why maybe trail running was a little bit slow to get started in the country, because it is so challenging?
No. The opposite. No, people just had other interests, other things to do. Maybe running wasn't very popular at all, but when running became popular, it happened mostly with the trail running community, trail running events. So people are more connected, attracted to the trail mountain, because mountains, the trails are like the crowd, the public in football. In football, the public is called the second player, and the 12th player, the player number 12. Yeah, and here the mountains, the landscapes are just helping the runners to pass a lot of problems and to help them have the time passes. In fact,
Okay.
um, most of the trail runners will say, I won't run on the road because I will injure myself. It's very boring and so on. How can you say you will get injured on the road? Because I feel like I will fall on every step when I'm
Right.
when on the trails. It's flat. It's normal. The
Right.
problem is, the problem is that you don't really like the road, and then of course it will damage you. If you don't like a
Yeah.
dog, if you don't like a dog, you won't be friend of him with
Right.
him. He will
Yeah.
try to harm you. Let's say.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
They don't they want something beautiful around them. They don't really want only themselves, like me. Sometimes I really want to be myself. It's enough. I can do this. I don't really need something to help me.
Right.
I can do this.
Yes, I know what you mean. Like when if you go, like for me particularly, if I'm doing just a run near around the house, I could go around my neighborhood. It's pavement. It's just houses to look at. It's very boring, but some days that's what I feel like doing. Maybe I'll listen to my headphones and music, or maybe I just go for a short run and that's fine. But other days I need the trees, and that's really what I crave. So do you have a favorite place to run in Romania, either close by or far, that you've been to?
Um, I have some places, and they are always related to atmosphere and people, not only the place. For me,
Okay.
the place will be great, even if the landscape won't be wonderful. But of course, uh, there is a mix. One of those places is is a mountain resort called Kea. It means key.
Okay.
The, it's and this race Chukash, which is a mountain, is this race is called Chukash X3 or Chukash Old Free, like 3 times Chukash, something like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Chukash X and number 3. Anyway,
Yeah.
it is a great event because it went through some changes. I was there for the beginning. It was my second my second marathon. The first 3 marathon for me were mountains. So although I'm a road runner, the
Oh,
first
okay.
3 were in the mountains, and I'm very connected to that place. And there are some races which I'm very connected to because of some reasons. For instance, I'm running in a park here in Bucharest on the 1st of December, which is the National Day of Romania, and I run every year. I don't run my age. Only next year I will run my age because I will be 42.
Okay.
But the problem is that I am born on the 1st of December. So that's why I'm mentioning about running my age. So I'm running on I'm born in the same day with the National Day. So I'm very proud of this, to be born
Okay.
on the 1st of December. So I'm very happy to have this opportunity, very honored to run on the National Day. Of course, to having an official event during my day. So, that place is a beautiful park, but I mean, the event is something that I'm very connected to. As a nice place where is a park not so far from here, which is in the neighborhood where I was raised.
Okay.
And it is the park where I will run a 6-hour event not next year. In 2 weeks, I will have this
Yes.
6-hour event you were mentioning at a certain point.
We need to talk about that event. So you had mentioned it to me last week, I think it was. So February 26th, is that the date?
Yes, it is the last Saturday of the month of February. Of course,
Right. I think that's, yeah, so the 26th.
the 26th,
But what are,
6,
what are you doing? This, you said 6 hours.
okay. In the last few years, because I was training for the 24 hours races, I tried to find to have a training in February. There were not so many competitions in February, and I made an habit this year with my event, with my project. I'm doing like one event a month, and
Okay.
for this month, I was thinking to this 6 hour because I think I need some long running, not in a backyard style. It won't be a backyard style running, just
Okay.
continuously.
Yeah.
And I just try to make people come. Okay, if they cannot run at least here 6 hours, at least you can join during those 6 hours. Not yes, sorry. You can join during those 6 hours. And you don't need to say, oh, I cannot wake up so early, I have a lot of things to do. Okay, at least for half an hour, maybe you can join us. But of course, I want to make people run 6 hours, or let's say at least 45 kilometers or 60 kilometers. 45 kilometers will be the barrier for the ultra marathon. If you want to call yourself an ultra marathon, at least you have to run 45. And I'm trying to also help some organizers which are having some races this spring. I mean, always in connection with some organizers. They are my friends, some of them, and I want to also help runners, but also the organizers. I'm still running 24 hours or 12 hours races with not so big plans and objectives like in the backyard ultra, but I'm still there. I still want to be there. And
So
maybe, I don't know, one.
are we able to join you virtually on that
Yes,
Saturday?
yes.
Where can
I'm
we,
very.
is there a website that we go to sign up for it, or is this just very casual?
No, it's simple. You don't have to register, and
Okay.
it is not an official event. It has everything. I mean, it's on Facebook already. We will have some information, some banners, but only for the Australian community. I made this opportunity for people to run, and then they can save their runs on the applications and come back to the old last group.
Yeah.
They will post there, and Ted made so easy for me. He posted and he made a post and explained. They just come there. People will share this event, and I will take the information from there with the help of Ted or anybody who want to help. I will take the information from there, and we will have a special list. We'll mix our list from Romania with the list of the runners.
Okay.
I haven't mentioned to other people in Romania that they can run everywhere, because I just want to make them to come there.
Right.
Okay, you have to come there because it's very important to meet each other, not running
Yes.
all the time. Okay, the pandemic is not gone, but the situation which tell us the situation from the beginning when we had to be separate is not necessary anymore. We can meet each other now, I think, and on the other hand, I'm happy that Ted and Sara at the beginning said, okay, I think we can do this to ask people. It's an honor for me. I'm trying to create, in a natural way, of course, like a connection between these two communities. Of course, there are a lot of communities in the world, but you know, this is the same thing like those villages which are brothers
Yeah,
in the brotherhood, like a small village from Romania, having brothers in a small from a small village from France, for
right.
instance.
Yes.
I love I love that idea, and of course it's an exchange of experience first of all, and I
Yeah.
think that we can learn a lot of things from you, and the same way.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And like you said, you sign up for these events and it's not just about the location and, trying to get your personal best all the time. You make a lot of friends doing this too, and you meet some wonderful people. Maybe you learn a lot, you get advice from them on how you can, do better next time. And it's a very supportive group who are into these events, and that's what I really like about it. And I find a big difference between regular marathon events versus these trail events or ultra marathon events, that the communities are just a little bit different. I feel like there's more camaraderie or teamwork in trail running than there is necessarily in marathon running, and that keeps me coming back. That keeps me signing up for things is the people.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I gotten to go farther than I thought I could ever go because of the people. So, and other people's encouragement.
yeah, I agree.
Now,
Yeah,
I know you've noticed my hat because it's
yes, yeah, of course.
very loud and
Yes,
proud. So we
notice.
take our blaze orange is what we call this color. We take that very seriously in the Ode family, and we want to know what it would take to get you to be an ambassador for our hat. And if we sent you a hat, could we get you to wear it in some events?
Yes, I will wear it even in the summer, of course.
Right?
In the summer, in the
Just for
mountain,
just one loop. That's all we ask.
in the summer, even in the hottest days, during the night it could be cold. So don't worry.
Right.
When
It's a
you are in
very
the
it's a
mountains.
very warm hat. It's lined and everything.
Yeah,
So
I like it. I like it a lot. I saw it. I noticed it. I'm watching the post
yeah.
about. I noticed it is a special group or page
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, very interesting. Of course, for you, you might say you may say, oh, it's only a head, but you can change things so much with a head. But of course, it's more than a head. And
Yeah.
yes, in fact, I'm already in contact with Ted about this. I
Good.
really want it. I will wear it. If possible, I want to have it before the first Backyard Ultra in Romania, which will be in April. It will be
Okay.
not so hot, of course. And maybe I will have it even before our Easter in the 24th of April, which will be the Easter. The second day after the Easter, I will have 3 loops, Backyard Ultra style,
Okay.
right from my house,
Okay.
from my yard. So I will do a real yard. I will leave people enjoy the Easter. I will only put them 3, maybe 5 hours, right? and I hope we can have it there. I have a friend from she used to be part of my community time trial running in Romania. He was very happy to run with us. Now she's in America. She's a girl. She's in America. I hope somehow with her help or um, somehow we can have this hat. I will happily wear it.
Good.
It is very very warm. Okay, I want to have the chance to find a nice place to run with this and share it. Yeah, and I think more little things like this, little things that can make great emotions.
Yeah.
I'm open. I'm open to this. kind of.
It's like part of the family, you know.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And we definitely want you to feel part of our Ode family.
No,
So
I was, yeah, I'm happy. And if this is the word, the context, will be so happy to be the ambassador of Ode to Les. Of course, there are a lot of communities, as you said, but some are special, and I'm looking for things like this. And
yeah.
as I mentioned before, I'm doing things naturally somehow. I don't force them. I'm waiting things to happen. For instance, to get in contact with you.
Yeah.
Somehow it happened. And as I am based on some special phrases or quotas, like the one from Sarah's, in the same way I'm connected to even some objects, but they're not objects, they're like inspiration tools. And I'm open to things like this, and I'm already inspired. For instance, if I wouldn't have got in contact with Sara and participated in the or to snow, maybe I wasn't thinking only to 3 hours challenge. Because if you ask me, if you want to do even a training in backyard style, you have to do 6 hours, 9 hours. But I said, okay, 3 hours, it will be fun. Why? Because you run and then you have time to talk, to socialize, to eat something. Yeah.
Yes.
And, maybe, okay, 3 hours, it's not too much, but I will do maybe a longer training during the year. I don't know. I shall see. Maybe I will be so inspired. I will organize something. But for me, it's hard to organize something special because I really want to run everything.
Yeah.
That's close to my soul. So.
It's hard to pick and choose out of all these great events which ones to do and not overdo it, right?
Not mentioning about this. Of course, in Romania we have so many, and
Yeah.
I think like you are a community, and of course you basically run the events from your series. And
Yeah.
you don't have to think what other races shall I pick. Of course, I will pick first of all these races. And
Yeah.
in the same way, I'm making my list shorter because it's difficult to keep up with all those races. And I will let's say focus on some backyard and some races related to this community.
Yeah.
And of course, you mentioned this community groups of ultra runners and the atmospheres. Of course, in an ultra marathon, of course, there is a limit, much smaller limit than in a normal marathon. And if there are fewer persons, it's easier to interact, to communicate. It's very fun, even to eat at the same table with those runners. And I really like this. And even in backyard ultra, they're even even fewer. So it's like 20, 40, 80, 100 runners.
Right. That's what I like a lot about our Ode to Snow races, because not that many people want to come run in the snow.
Really?
I mean, we get a much smaller crowd than the main event in July, or even some of our other events in the spring. But that snow run, seems there's a smaller group of people who really think running in the cold is fun. But it's a ton of fun. And I actually like that event more than our bigger events because, like you said, you get to interact with everybody. And, sometimes when the group size gets so big, you can, even though there's so many people around you, you can still feel very isolated if you don't have your little clique around you, we call it, and so for someone like me who doesn't have all that many friends who like to run these kind of distances, being at a smaller event and meeting new people that opportunity is important to me. and it makes it so much more fun, you know. So yeah, I enjoy both aspects of large events and smaller events. So I'm excited to join you on your February 26th, 6 hours. I don't know if I'll make it 6 hours,
Don't worry.
but I'm gonna try and hopefully drag along some people with me to do it. So
Oh, it is so cool. No, don't worry. We will start it in 6 in the morning, hour. It will be like 11 o'clock on the 26th, 25th in America,
yeah.
but in Michigan. But don't worry, you can do this in your weekend. And I even added a 6K event.
Oh, okay.
So. I will mention everybody, but if we're talking about the list, because for me the results list are very important. I will only mention people who are running like say for 6 hours. I mean, more or less 6 hours, and the people running in the 6K. It's more easier to organize ourselves, because I have a friend who helps me with this. Okay, but everyone who will join will be mentioned somehow in a list. Don't worry. And I want to, of course, I'm open to make new friends there. And mentioning about friends, I'm open. I was open to meet a new community. I had an interest. I didn't expect something special, something specifically, but I knew that just meeting people, I was sure that this will help me somehow to find new motivations, to learn new things, and to be stronger than before. So
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for something specifically, but I was sure that it will really help me.
Well, we're happy if you get anything out of knowing us, and we tend to be referred to as too friendly, that that we're just so eager to welcome you, even though you might be kind of like, oh, who are these strangers?
Don't you worry. No.
So we just want everybody to have fun, and the more the merrier, right?
Yes, of course. No, it's very important. In Romania, the community of backyard ultra is very small. You can number them on your, maybe not on the fingers, as we say, we have a saying, but they are very few. And people, of course, who are very connected to backyard ultra are even fewer.
Right.
Because they are so keen on the trail running, on other races. They are I said, okay, forget about everything about trail running. Maybe just keep in mind something from the 24 hours or I don't know, 48 hours.
Right.
Keep in mind something from the loop thing, because it will help you. But otherwise, I noticed after my first ultra and after my second, mentally and spiritually, it is so different. It's another word. It's something else. Just forget everything you thought you can do. Of course, you have to be prepared somehow, but be prepared to let's say to pass over the unexpected.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good way to say it. Yeah.
Yeah, it helps me. It helps me somehow, because I know. If I say I know, now I know what I can do. No, this is dangerous. No, I just cannot say I know. No, I am prepared to meet and to beat the unexpected.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so much fun.
Yes.
Is you're not really sure what's going to happen sometimes.
It's more. Yeah, you are not alone there.
Yeah.
You meet the bear. If you are not alone,
Right.
you don't know.
Well, I do want to say that, we're going on 2.5 hours here, and I don't want to keep you too long because I know you got little kids and it's probably getting close to their bedtime at least.
Yeah, at least,
But
yes.
you know, you are welcome to come on and chat with me anytime, and I'd actually love to talk with you after your event in May. You said it, or
In
April.
March.
In March. Oh, coming up in
No.
March.
So the first one for me will be in Spain in March. I will try to do
Okay.
my best there. Then the second one, maybe the most important from the spring, will be in April, the 28th of April. Will be the national championship and the qualifying for the satellite world championship.
That's the one I'm thinking of, is that I would
Yeah.
really love to talk to you after that event.
Yes,
So
sure.
keep that in mind, and we'll try to get that on the calendar. You know, we'll let you rest and everything afterwards,
Yes, sure.
and maybe do it like a week later when you've had time to process it all.
Yes, I will have a story. I think I will try to make it even in English. And during those hours, during this event, I will also run the 12 hours from all to night. And my plan is like this. Our event starts on Thursday at midday. It's okay, on 28th at midday. If I start, it's a plan, you never know, but if I start, let's say, those 12 hours at midnight, when the day of 30th of April starts.
Yeah.
And if I manage to do those, it will mean that I will reach 48 hours, which will be so incredible for me.
Right.
It's kind of a secondary motivation. You got it? I will be 30.
Yeah.
I hope to be 35 hours when after 36 hours. After 36 hours, I will start another 12, which will bring me to equal Sarah's best performance at 48 hours. And then you say, okay, 48 hours, not a round number. I will go to 50.
Right. Yeah. But set that bar a little higher so that your legs don't quit on you at 48 hours.
Yeah. And maybe a lot of problems will come, but now I will be, even after this discussion, I will be very careful and very keen on this hour by hour, look by look. I will be I'll be motivated just to try another one.
Yeah.
Hope it works.
Tad always says, you know, when I talk to him about training and stuff, he always tells me that, you know, if you want to train for backyard, or if you want to run a backyard event, you got to train in backyard style, which is always really hard for me because, you know, you only have so much time during the day and you just want to get your run and get it done. You don't want to take these breaks because next thing you know, 4 hours passed and your whole day is gone. But really, you know, these runs that you're creating, that you're doing, you know, right from your house and setting up your food and stuff, that's really the best way, or so Tad says, the best way to train for a backyard event. So I think you're on the right track there, Simon.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and I noticed, thanks to you, that it really helps mentally, this is the challenge mentally. So I wasn't expected to be so challenged on those 3 loops, but this experience helped me so much, especially because of those breaks. The breaks were very important. Yeah. But another thing, and I did this so many times, maybe the best way to run for a race is to go to another race. So I will fill my calendar. Even they're very close, like 2 weeks between. 1 week between is crazy. But 2 weeks between, I think it's okay. And I have kind of situation in May and June. I think I will do it because otherwise I will stay with my beer and watch other run like I'm doing today. I'm so pissed off. I'm not there in the capital city of Norway to run, but at least God arranged things. I mean, not God, you and God. We have this meeting. It was like running a race, and I hope it will be fun. And what I learned from you already, from Sara and Ted and your community, you are making everything in the spirit of fun, but fun like doing your job relaxed and good.
Yes.
In a good way, and I will try to keep that in mind. And I just can't wait to have another meeting and to have maybe other, let's say, projects together.
I love it.
We have already a lot. So I have this 6 hours event, 6 hour challenge. In 2 weeks, then we have the all to the night and so on. I would have liked to consider the faster track. You have another race in June or in May. It's faster.
So we have the perfect PR.
Yeah, yes, I noticed it's better than me because I'm not a really mountain guy. I mean, a trail runner guy. It's a good training to run on a difficult trail, but maybe not, but of course, if I will come to USA, of course I want to come for the result, because I will spoil everything. I will come for fun, to meet people and so on. Of course, I want to come at least with my wife, if not with the whole family. And of course, will be for fun. Maybe as Sara did, just having fun, you can reach 40 hours or even more.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. You don't want to quit when you're having fun, right?
Yeah, I never thought of this. Yeah, good one.
So
Okay.
I think we'll wrap it up, Simon. I'm really thankful that that this worked out and that the timing worked out, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and sharing all your insights and everything about running and ultra running. I hope that we can one day meet in person, and you can help me work on some more Romanian and my pronunciation, because I'm going to make one more attempt here by saying goodbye and good night. And I think it's La Revedere.
Very nice. Yes.
Is that goodbye, right?
Yes, it is. It's fine. It's with your accent, but it's good. It's perfect.
With my Michigan accent, I know. So next time we meet, you're gonna have to help me work on that. But
don't worry.
But yeah, I appreciate it, and I look forward to talking with you in the future.
Me too. I just can't wait, and I hope I can inspire people, and I hope they will have patience to watch this 2 hours and a half, maybe.
I think they will. Shorter. We might have them fast forwarding through something, but you never know.
Don't worry. No. Yes.
If they want to learn more, they'll listen to the whole thing. So, well, you have an awesome night, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, hope so.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.
Bye. Libby, bye, everybody.